Hi lovelies, I'm Ariel and this is Maven Unmasked and welcome to your video for my favorite beginner tarot decks. I've had several of you in the comments on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram ask me about what are some great decks that they can get started with. What are some good decks for beginners? So I will tell you a little bit of background about how I found out which decks are good for beginners. I have, as you can see, I have a ton of decks here with me today that we're going to talk about. For me, my first tarot deck, I'm sorry, I don't remember what it was called, but I believe in one of the 31 Days of Tarot Challenge videos, I believe I show it and talk about it. It's in my collection somewhere right now. But the artwork with that deck, it did not resonate with me, but it had, the meanings written on the top and on the bottom, and I remember going into the store and saying, okay, I'm going to get a deck. And you go to a metaphysical shop or, your local witchy store or whatever. And there's so many decks to choose from. And they all look so pretty, but you're like, I don't know about this one. I don't know about that one. So we're going to clear the air on some of that today and some things that I wish I had known before I started. But started with this deck, didn't resonate. Put the cards down. Then I got the Thoth deck, and Thoth has a lot of esoteric and occult background, which even to this day, I've been reading tarot for a few years now. I just have not had the time to really delve into and study it. And I feel like it's a deck that deserves a lot of attention that I just can't dedicate to it right now. So in the future, once you guys have gotten through the beginner stage, if Thoth is something that you'd like to look into, I highly encourage you to do that. I've heard many wonderful things about the deck, and I do have it myself, but it's not one that I read with. Then I went to the Shadowscapes Tarot, which was the first deck I started reading with intuitively, and it's a great deck, great beginner's deck. I think you should have some basics down before you go into that. So what would have saved me a lot of time and a lot of months of frustration if I had just simply gotten the standard Rider-Waite Tarot deck, it would have saved me a lot of time. Now, Rider-Waite is the traditional standard in tarot. A lot of decks are based on the Rider-Waite Smith model or the Rider-Waite clones. But I think the Rider-Waite is the best deck to start with, because even now, I will say some decks that I have that don't fit the Rider-Waite model, when I pull them, my mind instantly always goes back to the Rider-Waite image to kind of give me, it's a great foundation to have and something to build off of. I really like the Rider-Waite. Now, what turned me off with the Rider-Waite when I first started looking for decks is I didn't like the artwork, so I never got it. I was like, ugh, I didn't like it. But I understand the value of the Rider-Waite so much. So I encourage you to read it. There's many different kinds of Rider-Waite. There's the Pamela and Coleman Smith Centennial. There's, the Universal Tarot. All Rider-Waite Smith. The colors and tones of the cards are just a little bit different. Some are more vibrant. Some are more, have an antique, tea-stained look to them, which I really like those. I haven't gotten those yet. And the backs are all different. Now, what I've done, and I think it's a good tip, a good idea for you all, it definitely helped me. I got 2 copies of the Rider-Waite deck. One I read with, and the other one I actually wrote down my impressions of the card and the meaning of the card on the actual card, because I thought it helped me to learn to read better instead of like keeping, going back and forth, opening the LWB, the little white book. So I think that's just a suggestion. If it resonates with you, I highly encourage you to try it. It definitely helped me. So let's see. Let's take a look at some of these. So for example, for the High Priestess on the card, I wrote, what's hidden and intuition, things of that nature. The Chariot, drive, pursuing, moving forward, and gaining control is what I wrote on the Chariot. Yeah, I know the artwork isn't like super gorgeous. but it's a great model to have to get into the symbolism and just the basics of tarot. So one thing I do want to show you what I mean by Rider-Waite clones. For example, the next deck I'm going to show you, it's the Tarot Mucha or Mucha, however you want to say it. And I will leave a list of the names of all of these decks down in the description box underneath this video for you guys, in case you need spelling or can't remember a name or whatever, to save you all some time. But for example, look at the Ace of Pentacles in the traditional Rider-Waite, and then look at it in the Tarot Mucha or Mucha. They're pretty much identical, right? Some cards in the Tarot Mucha are just a bit different, but it's pretty much the same. So if you think the artwork with the Tarot Mucha resonates with you more, I would definitely suggest working with it. Here's what the back looks like. And so here's the Ace of Pentacles. Now this is a Lo Scarabeo deck. And the only thing I will say about that is it doesn't have like how this Ace of Pentacles has Ace of Pentacles written on the bottom. This one does not. So in the beginning, it may help you to actually have a deck where it spells out the suit and the number of the suit for you. That may help you in your reading and in your learning. So Three of Pentacles. And I think it's a nice deck. It's like, again, it's a Rider-Waite clone. The artwork is a bit different. It's a bit more real, I guess you could say. So that's the Ten of Cups. Okay. I'm not going to show you a whole bunch because we have a lot of decks to go through. But the Magician and the Major Arcana. So Tarot Mucha, it's a good beginner's deck. It keeps to the Rider-Waite model. Here's the Ace of Cups. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. But Rider-Waite, there's certain things that you'll see, over and over and over and over again. Like the next one I have here, the Halloween Tarot. So if you're like me and you love Halloween, like right now at the time I'm making this video, Halloween is not next Monday, but the following. And it really helps you to look at the Rider-Waite Smith in a different kind of way, and I really, really enjoy it. So like some of the cards here, we have the Six of Bats, which is like the Six of Swords. And typically in any Rider-Waite version, you will always see two people sitting in the boat and somebody rowing the boat from rough waters into smoother waters. Let me see. I thought I had it readily available to show you in the Rider-Waite deck. So let me just see if I can find it real quick, because I'm pretty sure I thought I had. Put it to the side. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, maybe I didn't. Sorry, you guys. But you always see somebody rowing two people into smoother waters. The Halloween Tarot, it's cute, it's colorful, sticks to the Rider-Waite, it's a little bit funky, a little bit spooky. I love the Ace of Pumpkins or the Ace of Pentacles, so always the holding it out. I believe I showed that to you in the other ones, but holding out that pentacle, so Justice and the Scales. But the images are just a bit different, and it makes you think in a different way. The Emperor, okay? The Moon, okay? And so the Moon in a traditional, like the traditional Rider-Waite deck, there's no werewolf or anything like that, but it helps you think about the moon in a different way. So I definitely suggest that you go with, I'd like, you know, I mean, this is your journey. So go with whatever suits with you, works with you, resonates with you. But from my personal experience and like knowing what I know now and what I wished I had done then, it would have saved me some time. Stick with something that's like a Rider-Waite model or clone, but go with some artwork that stimulates you, that works with you, for you, your style, what your intuition speaks to. do some research, look on the internet. Eclectic Tarot is a great website to go and research different decks, look at different cards from the different decks, etc. Okay, so the next one I have is Crystal Visions Tarot. Honestly, it is not one of my personal favorites in terms of reading with me personally, but I'm showing it to you because it is a Rider-Waite model deck, and because the artwork, just because it doesn't resonate with me doesn't mean that it won't resonate with you. So we have the King of Wands, Page of Wands. Okay, I don't want to show you guys all suits. I want to show you some fun things too. The Wheel of Fortune. And so these, they have, you know, the card name written on the bottom. The Five of Cups, the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so it's a really mystical deck. It's a really whimsical deck. Definitely has a fairy tale kind of feel to it. It is beautiful. I do love the colors. In terms of reading, it just doesn't resonate with me, but it doesn't mean it will resonate with you. So for example, their Six of Swords in this Crystal Visions, it's not, you know, the person in the boat. This one is a bit different, but the meaning is still the same. Okay. The World. All right, here's the backs of them. It's very, very pretty. So that's another one that you may be interested in. Okay, let's see what else we got. What else we got? This one is one of my faves, the Goddess Tarot. I love the Goddess Tarot. I love the size of this deck. It's not traditional tarot deck size. Oh, and please, I do want to say, don't think that you have to have a deck gifted to you. You can buy your own tarot deck. Otherwise, a lot of us would be waiting around forever for someone to buy us a deck. So, you know, make a day of it. Have fun with it. You know, make it a special thing for you. Your first deck is, you know, it starts the journey. So congratulations to you starting your journey. But let's take a look at the Goddess Tarot. I keep it in my pouch. I can open it. Come on, there we go. All right. There we go. So these are the backs. Beautiful cards. Definitely different in size from the other ones. You know, definitely different in size, right? If you work with the goddess, if you like goddess energy, I think this deck is great. And it's still pretty much, for the most part, Rider-Waite Smith clone. So it's definitely different, but I love it. So the Three of Swords. Okay. The Magician or Magic is Isis in this deck. So definitely if you work with goddess energy, I think this is a great way to start working with tarot, and with definitely with, excuse me, when you have some background knowledge on some of the goddesses that are featured in this deck. So for the Three of Staves, or the Three of Wands. So some decks, as they change, so for example, the Halloween Tarot, Pentacles are pumpkins, Ghosts are the cup suit, Bats are the sword suit, and Imps are the fire suit. For this deck, it is, excuse me, Staves for Wands. Some other decks for cups, it's chalices. It may be rods for wands. So it varies from deck to deck. The Eight of Pentacles. So stunning. I really love this deck. Okay. The Ten of Staves or the Ten of Wands. Let's show you. Okay, the Two of Pentacles. I want to show you guys the cups. Okay. Cups card. The Nine of Cups. The Six of Cups. The Nine of Swords. So I really love this deck. Okay, for the Hanged Man, instead of it being called the Hanged Man card, number 12, it's called Sacrifice, and the goddess is Kuan Yin. So if this is something that resonates with you, it's a gorgeous deck. I love working with it. It gives beautiful readings. For the lovers, this card is just called Love, and it's Venus, the goddess Venus. Beautiful, right? So that is the Goddess Tarot. Again, it sticks with the Rider-Waite model, and it's a beautiful deck. It's by Chris Walter. This baby back in its bag. Okay. Alrighty. So where do we want to go next? Let's switch it up a little bit, and we will talk about angel cards for a second. So I have two angel decks here with me. They're both by Doreen Virtue, who is the queen of angels, the angel lady, totally. And these are also based off the Rider-Waite model, but they're very, very soft. So a lot of people starting out with tarot, they may be intimidated by cards like the Death card, or for example, what else? Like the Tower, which is about like severe sudden shock and change. They don't want scary readings or anything, you know, unsettling. So the Angel Tarot, it uses the same meanings, but it does it in a more loving way, a more gentle way. So if that's something that speaks to you, then I definitely suggest Angel Cards by Doreen Virtue and Rodley Valentine. So these are the backs. They're absolutely stunning. Stunning, just gorgeous, right? And so let's look at some of the cards. So the images may be a little bit different, but these, they have not only the title of the card, they have a brief description of the card underneath of it. So that may be great, a great way for you to learn as well. So instead of the Six of Cups, we have the Six of Water. Memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, or romanticizing the past. Okay. Please excuse my house phone. Okay, so for the High Priestess, now this is an Archangel, so it's Archangel Haniel. Listen to your intuition, have patience, consider carefully what you want before acting. So if you love the angels, if you love the archangels, if you have some background on them as well, I think this will be a deck that will definitely be beneficial to you. So, and I also think this deck, these decks are helpful when learning court cards. I will say this because not only does it give the personality trait of the card, the court card, it also gives more of an action or energy kind of statement as well. So for the Knight of Swords or the Knight of Air, because the suits in tarot, they all are representative of an element. So cups are water, swords are air, wands are fire, pentacles are earth, okay? So Knight of Air, we have intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options and creative solutions. The images are really beautiful. So I do know a lot of people really love the angel cards, so I think it's a great way to start. Okay, so for example, the Ten of Air, which is typically the Ten of Swords, it's about betrayal, endings, things of that nature. But the way she words it is the end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. Recovering from an addiction. So it's not as heavy, I guess, is the best way to describe it as other, tarot cards. So Seven of Fire, the Seven of Wands. Okay, the Strength card, Archangel Ariel. Great inner strength, release harsh judgments, forgiveness, and compassion. Okay. So that's those for the most part. You know, and it continues like that throughout the deck. Let's show you a pentacle card, just because I want to. Okay, so the Ten of Earth, Ten of Pentacles, a very happy family life, financial security, finding magic in the little things in life. So they're great to work with in a spread, especially when you're new. I think the angel cards are a great way to go when you're just starting out. Originally, I will say I was turned off by the whole angel card thing, but now I use them regularly. I really, really like them and the different kind of energy they bring to a reading, especially if you're going through something or a client you have is going through something. It's a little bit, adds a bit of a softer element to the reading. The other angel deck that I really love is the Guardian Angel Tarot deck by Adoring Virtue as well. And these are just sugary sweet. They're bubblegum to me. They're just so bubblegum, and I love them. Even more, I think, than these. Because whenever I use this deck, it always gives me exactly what I need in such a profound and gentle and sweet and loving way, and so caring. It's sugary, sticky, sweet. So if that's something that doesn't appeal to you, maybe you don't want to work with this deck, but I think it's beautiful. Not even so much for the artwork, but just the general love that's contained within this deck, if that makes sense. So the Four of Emotions, so this would be like the Four of Cups. And it has an image of the card, and then it's got a big paragraph underneath of the card to kind of give different meanings to really help you along. So the Four of Emotion, there are wonderful people who wish to help you. Opportunities are being offered to you, but you aren't noticing or trusting the gifts heaven is bestowing upon you. Look around you. Daydreaming or going within is a healthy way to get clarity as long as you act upon your dreams. Okay. So for the Major Arcana, it doesn't have like how the angel cards do, the Magician, you know, the Star, the blah, 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 like typical Rider-Waite stuff, the Major Arcana, tarot system, period. Instead of it being called the Magician, it's just got the number 1 on it, and it's called Manifest Your Dreams. Because why? The magician is the manifester. He is pure willpower and intention. So it says you're ready to go. There's no need for additional preparation. Take the first steps toward the changes you desire, even if they're small steps. Notice the signs that guide you in the right direction, as well as resources and support that miraculously appear. So it's got a little bit of everything, I think, or at least the basics of what the magician can represent. And it's not in like a listing bullet point fashion. It kind of gives you more, I want to say, of an emotional background to the meaning of the card, if that makes sense, to help you understand it more. Do I think it gives you the full picture, the full thing of it, like the Rider-Waite deck does? No, I don't. But that's not what this deck was made for either. Again, it's supposed to be a lighter deck. So a card that may not be so wonderful. Okay. Okay, like the Eight of Swords. So typically the Eight of Swords, it's a woman. She's wrapped in bindings. She's trapped. That kind of thing. So the image on the card is a bit darker. I guess that's what I mean. The image is not as pleasant as this is, right? This is very pleasant. So the Eight of Thought, you may feel as though you're restricted by the circumstances you find yourself in, but that's just an illusion. Make a promise to yourself to refuse to be stuck in a situation that's making you unhappy. Don't wait for someone to come to the rescue when you can free yourself. So one thing I will say about this deck is that the images don't really correspond to me personally with the meaning of the card. I think that's very much with the description down here, what all this wording is down here. So it's really your personal preference. If you want to be a more, I guess, intuitive reader and going on feelings from the images you get, or if you just want to be a more academic style reader, I guess that's the best way to say it. It's really up to you and your journey and your learning style and all of those things. I will say as well that certain decks, like if you do have a more intuitive deck, like let's say you have, I don't know, the Wild Unknown or something like that, or Lumina Tarot, for instance, Star Child, anything of that nature, have your Rider-Waite, again, this one, I keep talking about it, not showing you the box, again, have your Rider-Waite bot next to you and match up the cards. So Magician from this deck versus Magician from your other deck, your more intuitive deck. So that way you can kind of match up the images in your head, see what's similar, see what's different, that kind of thing. So that way you're not really missing anything as well. I think that's important to note. But lovely deck, bubblegum, sugar sweet, love it. Alrighty, so we have 2 more decks to talk about. I know, like, my pile is like, la 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 la. So, now we have the Greenwich Tarot, which I really, really like. It's Rider-Waite style, but I like the artwork so much more. It's probably my favorite, outside of the one I'm going to talk about next, deck that's in the Rider-Waite style. Okay, that's in the Rider-Waite style. Now, here's the backs. So if you have a little witchy woo in you, this may be a great deck for you to start with. I really love it. It sticks to the Rider-Waite model. It's borderless. The colors are vibrant and the people feel really real. Like you can really put yourself into the situation. So the 3 of Pentacles, especially around harvest times, or as the Wheel of the Year changes. I like this deck. So the Moon. Okay. The Chariot. He's known in this deck as the Battle Wagon. So decks, depending on their themes, there's different themes decks. So we've got Goddess here, we've got Angel here, we've got Halloween. You know, now we've got the Green Witch. The card names may change and images may change a little bit to fit the theme of the deck. King of Chalices, so King of Cups. And I love how these court cards give me more of a feel for who the people are. The 4 of Wands. So it's a really practical deck. It's beautiful to read with. This and the one I'm about to talk about next are probably my favorite that I would pick as a beginner deck. So the 10 of Wands. It sticks to that Rider-Waite model. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's probably my favorite. The Queen of the Thames or Athames, however you want to say it. So instead of the Hermit, he's called the Holly King. Okay. So this deck may be great if you want, you know, the witchy woo in you. Okay. 6 of a Thames, 6 of Swords. There's the guy with, you know, this time he's carrying a horse across. But again, it's going from rough waters to smoother waters. Same kind of deal. I think this is a great one. I really, really love it. So I encourage you to check out the Greenwich Tarot, especially if the artwork resonates with you. And then the last one we have is my favorite, the Druidcraft Tarot, you guys. The Druidcraft. This baby, it's a big deck. I love the artwork so much. It's, especially if you are more into the witchy side of things, the Celtic or Druid side of things, the pagan side of things, anything of that nature. It's stunning. It's stunning. Mine, I have not trimmed the borders. The borders are still on. Here's the back of the cards. Okay. But it's beautiful. So, and again, see the difference in size. The Greenwich Tarot, right, versus this baby here. I mean, big size difference, right? So also think about that too in the beginning. What's easier for you to handle, to shuffle, those kinds of things. So I'll show you some of these cards. The 9 of Cups. The King of Pentacles. The World. Love this card. Okay. The High Priestess. The Magician. So I really encourage you to look online at some different card images and just see what resonates with you what your intuition calls for. When you look at the image of the card, can you fall into it? Does it make sense to you? Things like that. Does it just vibe with you, really? Because you're going to be working a lot with it. You're going to be spending a lot of time with it. So I really think you want it to be something you enjoy looking at, as well as giving you a strong foundation. Okay. So beautiful cards. Again, I will leave the names of these decks underneath the description of this video. I hope you all have enjoyed this. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. I hope this has helped you all. I really, really do. If there's any other questions you'd like me to answer for you, please, you know, send me a comment some kind of way on YouTube or my Facebook or whatever, and I will do my best to answer them. Hello to all the new subscribers. If you'd like to get a reading with me, check out my Etsy shop, and that's all for me. Have a great one, lovelies. Bye. Happy shuffling.